pistols and shotguns, sunlight and moonshine, fast cars, guitars, grapes on the vine, got them for a good time. That's the only reason I need, and it's a damn good excuse to kick back, slip some jack, crank up some tunes, have a hold down, flow down, windows roll down kind of day. That's how we rock when you roll out my way, my way. You never partied till you partied in my country.
My name is Raymond Shook. Today is October the 2nd, 2023. This is the FTT 114 Kydex Lab. Instructor's name is Terry Collins. Today we will be going over how to prepare something for the Kydex holster. We'll be going over how to heat up and form the Kydex holster. And with that, I'm going to show you all the weapon that I'm going to be making a holster for. It's new on the market. Not very many of them have made it out yet. I have the Rossi Brawler chambered in 45 and 410. It's a single shot breakover. We're going to first ensure that the weapon is empty and clear of ammunition. By doing that, we will press the button here on the side. It'll break open. We'll both visually and physically check to ensure that it's clear. I'll also look down the barrel to make sure there's nothing in the barrel. Upon that, let me close this back up and we'll move on to the next part. Alright, for this part, I'm going to be putting blocking on for any of the high points that are sticking up. I'm going to tape securely over the trigger. I'm probably going to pack up some paper to put in here to make it tight. That way we don't end up with anything down over the trigger that can cause it to end up pulling in the process. We're going to be using the J hooks, and for that I made two little blocks that we're going to be placing across right here. We're going to have this canted, so when it's sitting on the hip, it'll have a canted angle to it, making it a little easier to carry. I've also got a wooden dowel that I've already pre-cut that fits between the Picatinny and the front sights. What I'll do here, I'll block around it with some more of these more of the craft sticks. I'm going to go ahead and get this all set up, ready to go, and I'll show you all the finished product here in a minute. Alright, we have got this thing blocked and set up as a mold. I've got blocks in here, right here for the J hooks. I've already figured out the can I needed. I set popsicle sticks in here for that. Along the sight, I set a piece of dowel rod and surrounded it with popsicle sticks. That way the side will move in and out smoothly. Did the same thing up here on the Picatinny rail. When it comes to the Picatinny rail, we're going to be putting a red dot up here afterwards. So I'm going to cut it probably right about here, about what I figured. So I'll have the Picatinny rail open from here up when we're done. But for now, I just went ahead and blocked in the whole Picatinny. That way when we're done, we can move on to it. I've already got everything measured out. I need it 8 inch by 8 inch by 11 inch. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take our Kydex. I'm going to mark it, and we're going to use our razor blade, and we're going to score it and break it. Let me grab my paint pen. I just knocked it off the table. Let me grab it. I'll be right back. Got a brand new paint pen just for doing this right here. My other one was kind of drying out. Let me get it. Okay, let's get our tape measure out. We're going to measure 11 inches. Oh, let's see if it'll let me do this. Now I'm just putting some marks, and I'll come through and I'll actually put the line down in a minute. We're going to measure our 8-inch. Alright, put them out of my finger. Alright, let me grab my square. I know I kind of went a little big on the square. I had this one available from doing work on the house a while back. We're going to take it. We're going to mark. And line it up with our marks. We'll mark our lines. Okay. Let's see. We have this one marked. This right here will be scrap. This up here will be scrap. If you're ever doing the pancake style, where I'll take 2 pieces of the Kydex, I'll have this one, set the gun here, and I'll set another piece of Kydex over the top. That seemed to be the better option for doing this handgun. Once again, we're going to take this. We're going to measure it. At 11. I'll do that in a few different spots. Make sure we got a nice little area. If you do it just in one spot and try doing your line, or you just do it 2 spots, you might end up with a line that's not going exactly where you want it to go. So personally, I like to make sure, as you can see, I have a few little dots going across it that I can line up on. It also helps make sure everything stays square. This way we're going to go to 8. There we go, we have our dots. Now for me to run the square across and get our lines. I'm giving myself a little bit extra to work with on these. I'm not sure exactly how much it'll take. All right, we got our lines down. I'd much rather have too much than not enough when it comes to it. I'm gonna start off by removing my mat. I like to keep the mat here, it keeps everything clean. But for cutting, I don't want to cut through my mat. So I'm just going to roll it up out of the way for now. Alright. I'm going to start. See where y'all can see kind of what I'm doing. We're going to start with our blade. We're going to set us a line. Try to keep it straight as possible. We'll run that an extra time or two just to make sure it's deep enough. And when I go to break it, it breaks good. Oh. Let's see if that'll spool. Not quite. We're not quite there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get these cut. I'm going to come back and show you all my pieces. Just save a little bit of time. And I'll be back here in just a bit with these cut. Okay, we now have our pieces cut. We have our spares, which these may be used on a later project somewhere down the road. So for now, I'm just going to set all these off to the side. We have our other two pieces here. There might be a little bit off, but we're going to end up sanding them down. We're going to smooth them out here in a bit. I'm going to do a little reshaping when we get done. We're about to get to the point where we're going to have to put them in the oven and heat them up. I'm going to go ahead and get the oven preheated, and we'll get over to that here in a minute. Okay, now we have our oven ready over here. I'm going to set the Kydex in here. I've already got a cookie sheet down for it. We're going to let the Kydex get up to 330 to 360 degrees. We're going to take it out, put it in the press, bring the press down and close it. Let me get the temperature up there close, and we'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and set them in here, get it started. Alright, we're up to about 300 degrees. I'm going to keep checking them, make sure that we're getting there. I'm going to take the top piece out. I'm going to set it right here. I do have some gloves, but this is going to be hot. I see a lot of people, they go doing stuff like this, or even at the range, they just shoot around. They'll be shooting at a target, round will hit the ground, they'll walk right out there, pick it up. First thing they say is, "Dang, that's hot." I don't want to be that guy doing that today. Okay, we're up to about 320. We're almost there. I'm going to take the top one up to about 340. And I'll take it out. That'll give me enough time for the bottom one to get up there about the same. And I'll put them in the mold. Almost there. Give it about another 10 seconds and they should be ready to pull out. Once again, out of habit, trigger safety. Okay, top one is ready. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to set it right here. Make sure we put our gloves on. Safety first. Kind of soft. Want to make sure to get it in position. We're going to set our firearm inside of it. Get it positioned where we want it. Now we're going to grab our bottom piece. Shiny side facing down. We're going to get it into position. Got to kind of work fast so it don't harden up on us. Alright, I think we got it where we want it. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to close this. Grab my clamps. Where do I set them at? Right here in front of me. I'll take our clamps. And press down. We'll get this one here pressed down to start with. We'll grab this one. Come to this side. I'm just going to work them down. Want to make sure to get it squeezed down as much as possible. And that's, we got our mold forming right here. Be back in about, I'm going to give it 20 minutes, that way it fully cools off. Back in about 20 minutes to check it. We'll see how it looks. Alright, we end up giving it about 30 minutes for it to cool off. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the jig. Oh, it's going to jump a little bit. Wasn't expecting it to jump like that. There's that side. Set these over here out of our way. Now for the reveal. It's a little bit warm, not too bad. And we have a form. Left a little bit of the barrel sticking out. You can see we're a little bit, I'm going to end up trimming it down to where it goes from probably right up here on the Picatinny. I'm going to come down at kind of an angle where it matches here. Let's say we're going to have a red dot that's going to be sitting up here on the Picatinny. I'm going to get all this out. We're going to clean it out and we're going to see how it looks. We'll set this off to the side. As you can see, I think it turned out pretty good. We have our spot for our J-hook right here. We have that recess and that. With that sitting, it'll put it at right about that angle on the hip. Next week we'll be finishing this up. We'll be getting everything lined back up on it. And when I go to do that, I'll stick the pistol back in it. That way everything stays lined up. And I'll do some trimming. And we'll put our rivet, our eyelets in. We'll install our J-hook, and it'll be good to go. To tell you the truth, I was a little intimidated when it came to doing this. Especially with this being a new gun. I couldn't get a blue gun for it. With all the futures, I hope to have a blue gun to do the other holsters that I'm planning on. But I think this actually turned out pretty good. Don't really see any damage to the gun. I think everything came out as good as could be planned for my first one. Down the line, maybe I can do something a little bit different, or have a little bit different color Kydex for custom orders, stuff like that. But dang, fly, get out of here. Part of living in Texas, we got flies everywhere. But well, thank you all for watching. See y'all on the next one, which will be next week when we get all this put together. Thank y'all and have a good night.